I think you and I are in lockstep on the idea that the linebacker group is the biggest question mark, maybe the biggest concern for the Seahawks as we head into free agency and the combines coming up and the draft and all of that. As it sits right now, you don't have any starters. They're all free agents. Now, they may bring Jordan Brooks back. Maybe they bring Bobby back. Maybe they bring all three, Devin Bush back. Who knows? I don't think that'll happen, but currently they are not signed to your team. They are not on the team. So you're looking at linebacker as a huge need. And we were looking at some of the external free agents that they could possibly go for. And I think the name we've mentioned the most, and maybe is the most logical because of where he's coming from and who the head coach is now, is Patrick Queen, who I think we read some comments from him before McDonald got hired, but he was on the, he was the name, and I think Queen was asked about him and just rave reviews of him as a coach and everything. But that would be the guy. Would that be your number one if they said you can pick any free agent linebacker that's available? Who do you want? Would he be your number one?
Yeah, definitely. And look, there's lots of linebackers out there. Obviously, last year we talked about Drew Tranquil a little bit, and he ended up going to Kansas City. But Patrick Queen makes the most sense. And I was looking at Spotrac, and they have a little thing, next to free agents, and that is just a calculation they do, but it's market value. Mm-hmm. And his market value was like $18 million. Look, Bobby made $18 million like 3 years ago. So, he has always made good money, and we'll get to a guy who's made about half of that here down the list. But Patrick Queen makes the most sense to me. The other thing I kind of like the idea, I think it's 27 and 28. They were the 27th and 28th pick, and I'm talking about Jordan Brooks was picked, I think, at 27, and then Queen at 28 by Baltimore. He's got better numbers, but I don't know that if you put Jordan Brooks in that defense that he wouldn't have similar type of numbers. I mean, Patrick Queen, the pressures that he gets, the sacks, the tackles for loss, things like that. I feel like he could be that kind of guy, Jordan Brooks, and if you had those two guys together. But I don't know. I just think, maybe I'm biased, but I think linebacker is one of the more important. It's kind of the glue between the defensive backfield and the front. Yeah. You pretty much know everything. You're doing. I mean, defensive linemen a lot of times don't know what the corner's doing, and they don't really need to know unless it's help as far as support in the run game. So, yeah, I think that would make the most sense to me. There's some other guys on the list that we'll look at, but I don't know. Patrick Queen, to me, I feel like with him and Jordan Brooks now, is he healthy? All that is a whole nother story, but I feel like those two together could be the centerpiece of this defense.
Well, and this comes from an ESPN article where they're listing the top 50 free agents and the best fits. Right. So we got 4 linebackers here. They don't have Seattle as a best fit for any of them. Right. So that means anything, but this is just somebody's opinion on it. They feel like Queen would be his best fit is in Denver.
Denver, yeah. And this is a list we looked at a couple of weeks ago. The one thing they did is they speculated this time on where to so scratch my head going, where have I seen this list before? But yeah, now it's they have the projected destination, and really the only one for the Seahawks was Leonard Williams. He was at number 16, and they have him as the 16th most prized free agent, and they have him going back to Seattle, and that's it. They don't have anybody else. So I don't know. I mean, I would have thought, hey, if you're looking at linebackers and you're looking at what's going on with the Seahawks defense, this to me is pretty likely, because where else are you going to go? I mean, I don't think it would be super inspiring if you hired back Bobby and Devin Bush. And I
think you need to improve.
Yeah. So and maybe they're going to do that through the draft, or like we keep saying, some combination of that. But there are some other guys on there that probably wouldn't be as expensive on the list, and like Frankie Louvu. And we talked about him last time. Carolina, linebacker, second level guy. Guy is just a backbreaker. I mean, he's a hitter. He's makes plays all over the field. And, maybe a little bit cheaper for a guy like that than Patrick Queen.
Yeah, and they've got his best fit in Arizona. So he's a guy you've brought up a number of times. And then you've certainly talked about these two guys, the tandem out of Tampa Bay. They've got them both on this list, one returning to Tampa Bay, and Levante David. They've got him at number 48 of the top 50. Number 44 of the top 50 is Devin White, and they've got him as best fit in Atlanta. Now, you talked about Devin White tailing off at the end of the year. Levante David. He came out the same year as Bobby, right?
Yeah.
So
3 or 4 picks later.
You're dealing with an older player.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I like who they've been. I don't know who they are now.
Yeah.
So I don't know that they're the answer. This, to me, if you go with either one of those guys, you're probably just as well to bring Bobby back.
Yeah, I don't know. I disagree with that just because you still are getting the kind of production and like forced fumbles and tackles for loss and things like that out of Levante David. I think the problem with Levante David is he's not leaving Tampa. I mean, he's put up some unbelievable numbers. Like he has 33.5 sacks. He had 4.5 sacks last year for a second-level guy. Now, they bring him off the edge a lot down there, but, he had 5 quarterback hits last year. And to me, the forced fumbles, he's got 5 passes defensed. I mean, he has just been just a great linebacker, but like the year that Bobby made 18, and I thought he blew him away as far as stats go, he was making 9. So now I think he made like 4 or 5 last year, kind of like Bobby. And then, he's on the list and they have him just staying in Tampa. And I agree. But I mean, that guy can still run. I think I sent you guys a video the other day from the Monday night game. Well, it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And he was just flying around the field. I think Devin White is the same way. I don't know what happened to him. He kind of fell out of favor there at the end of the year in Tampa, but he's another guy that just has like he ran like a 4.37, and he's a dude that will hit you. So Devin White I think is another guy, but I don't know if you're going to go big and where's the biggest hole on your team? I think it's linebacker.
Yeah. So
if you're going to spend a lot of money and like I said, the projected value of Patrick Queen was like somewhere around $18 million. I feel like if you're going to go big, that would be the one position that you would do it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you feel comfortable if they draft a couple of rookie linebackers and those are your starters, or you kind of want that veteran voice in there with a rookie? I would think you'd want a mix rather than complete inexperience and youth in there.
Well,
I mean,
if you bring back Jordan Brooks, and if that works out and everything, but I think that there's a lot of ifs, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I think if you let the draft go by and you haven't taken anybody, I mean, maybe they can find somebody in the later rounds, but. Yeah, I think that's going to be a big part of what Mike McDonald is going to do and or going to need for his defense. So I feel like that's going to be something that is a priority. And like I said, if you're going to have to spend money somewhere to get that kind of a player, he's pretty important in your defense.